Are you guilty of sabotaging your own happiness? We need to talk. Do you sabotage your own happiness? Well, who doesn't from time to time? Self-sabotage is something that plagues everybody. So if this video is for you, well, then you're human. Today we're going to talk about the 3 reasons why you might be stuck in a self-sabotaging cycle. Now, as I mentioned, this is going to affect everybody. So you might self-sabotage through procrastinating and avoidance. Maybe you self-sabotage just specifically relationships or your ability to be vulnerable or allowing people to get close to you or trusting. Or maybe you self-sabotage finances, is that every time you get money, you don't have any afterwards. Look, self-sabotage shows up in everybody's life, and it especially shows up when you're leveling up in your life. So if this is something you're dealing with, let's talk about the 3 reasons why you might be doing that. Let's dive right into the first one, which is you're choosing safeness of what you know over the fear of the unknown. One of the most common reasons why people self-sabotage is the fear of the unknown or the fear of change. This is probably the most common, and it is the number one thing that's going to keep you playing it small. So if you're trying to level up in life, whether that is finding better friendships, finding better career, maybe it's better finances, well, that requires us to step out of the comfort zone of what you know. And when we step out of that, well, guess what? There are dooming threats all around us. Or at least that's what your brain leads you to believe. So what happens is that the brain thinks that this change, this unknown change, has got too many fear factors, too much stress, too many negative things that are potentially looming out there, that it's better if we just stay right here in our little safety zone. Well, that's fine if you're living the most abundant, amazing life imaginable. But if you're like anybody else, then you probably want something more. It's just human nature to want to evolve and to grow and to have more, do more, or be more. So there isn't anything wrong with that. So what we want to begin to do is you need to challenge that fear. So really evaluate if this is you, what are you afraid of? What's the worst that's going to happen? And begin to start reasoning with that fear, because guess what? It's most likely not reasonable. All right, so let me leave you off really quick with a quote from H.P. Lovecraft. And he said, "The oldest and strongest emotion of mankind is fear. And the oldest and strongest kind of fear is the fear of the unknown." Look, you're going to need to learn eventually to embrace the unknown. This is a part of life. We don't have a crystal ball that tells us everything that's going to happen at every minute of every day. And so what does that mean? It means that we're constantly stepping into the unknown already. Why not embrace it with courage and enthusiasm or excitement versus fear and doubt and insecurities? Because ultimately, it's your choice. All right, let me lead to the second reason why you self-sabotage, which is holding on to the past. Oh my gosh, is this another huge reason why people get stuck in that cycle of self-sabotage? We're holding on to the past, and there's a couple different ways this could play out in your life. The first is that you're holding on to the past in hopes that that's going to become your reality again. Well, I don't know if you've ever had that experience, but I've never lived a Groundhog Day, meaning I've never had the exact same day over and over and over again. No matter how routine and mundane my days can be, is that every day is uniquely different. The encounters are different. Everything is different. But we drag this ideal of how things used to be into this idea of how we want things to be. So this is especially true when it comes to fitness. I hear it all the time when people tell me, they're like, well, I just want to get back to my ideal body weight. I just want my old body back. Well, the reality is you might not be able to have that, especially if you've had kids or, you've had any kind of alterations in your body. That might not be realistic. That might have been realistic for you in your 20s, but it might not be your ideal in your 40s. So instead of looking at the past and dragging the images from there, think about what you want to look like now. What do you want to feel like now? And honestly, if you start with what you want to feel like over what you want to look like, that's going to be a completely different conversation. Now, the other reason too is that we'll get stuck in the past because we've failed before or we've been hurt before. And so we'll take the pain of those histories and we drag them into the limitations of our destinies. In other words, you're going to take these failures, where the pitfalls, the hardships, and the hurts, and you're going to use that as an excuse to not move forward. And that'll keep you stuck in a cycle of self-sabotage for sure. All right, let me leave you out with this section with a quote, which is, "The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is an attribute of the strong." Mahatma Gandhi. Now, the reason why I introduced this in here is because I wanted to make sure to give you a little bit of a solution to the dragging the past inwards. One of the best gifts you could ever give yourself is the gift of forgiveness. And I'm not talking about the forgive and forget or letting things go or letting people off the hook. No. I'm talking about forgiveness where you forgive, learn, and grow. Where we can forgive the mistakes of our past, the hurts of our past, or even forgive ourselves now for dragging those insecurities and limitations into the struggles that you face now. And how you do that is you begin to look at what you can learn from your past and how you can grow in the future as a result of that. That's what's going to truly allow you to get out of that cycle and not repeat those past pains, and also allow you to break past those barriers, knowing that you are more than capable and that you can do this. Okay, this leads me to my third and final reason why that you self-sabotage, which is you're trying to control. All right, so the third and final reason why you're probably stuck in a cycle of self-sabotage is you're trying to control things. Now, why do we want to control our environment and our reality? Because it gives us the illusion of safety. It gives us the illusion of certainty. Well, guess what? There's a lot of things in your life that you can't control, and I'm sure you figured that out by now, but I bet you money that if you are starting to investigate your life, there are areas that you are really controlling over. Now, that could be with your diet and nutrition. That could be with your fitness and exercise. That could be with your morning routine. That could be with your kids' education. That could be with your finances. That could be in your relationship. That could be with your boundaries. There is a billion different ways that you might be controlling or trying to control your environment. Now, that's not a bad thing when it's in a balanced state. But when it's out of balance is where we're going to get stuck in the cycle of self-sabotage. This is where we aren't willing to take risk. We're not willing to evolve or change. Or we're not willing to step out of whatever this is and just maybe have fun or relax or try something different. So this is where if you kind of are stuck in that procrastinative state, stuck in that obsessing state, stuck in that kind of feeling overwhelmed state, that could be the manifestation of the cycle of self-sabotage that's playing out because of your fear of the need to control. Now, the reason why we get into that state is especially for people who've lived a life where it's been really a lot of out of control. So it's very common when you have led a life where things were just chaotic or abusive or dysfunctional for us to just cling on to the things in our life we think that we can control. That's a natural repercussion of that experience. But what will happen is it'll just keep you stuck. It's going to keep you in this small little space, and it's not going to allow you to venture off, and it's not going to allow you to just feel at peace. And so if you really want to feel more joy in your life, we need to loosen up the reins a little bit of why you're holding on to control. And so how you do that is you start to really ask yourself why you're doing it in the first place and begin to breathe as you are allowing these things to let go. All right, let me finish off this section with a quote, which is, "The only thing you sometimes have control over is your perspective. You don't have control over the situation, but you have a choice about how you view it." Chris Pine. This is such an important part to remember, is that, you know what, there's a lot of things in your life that you just can't control. It's great to have standards. It's great to always invest putting in routines or to have some control in your life. But when we're trying to control things to the way where it's causing us to self-sabotage, this is where we really need to step into that faith or step into trust and recognizing that there's a lot of things you can't control, but we can control how we think and feel about it. So investigate why you might need to control and shift that perspective so you can have a different experience. If you need help with that, I got an amazing gift just for you. So I have a 21-day mental exercising program that is designed to help you just get your mind back, to allow you to kind of reclaim and to clear the clutter of the mind so that way you can shift your perspectives more effectively. It's all done in 10 minutes or less a day, and the first 7 days are on me, absolutely free. Check it out, there's a link below. It's the 21dayemotionaldetox.com/free. It's my gift to you to help you on this journey every step of the way. Until next time, I'm Bonnie Kelly. Did you enjoy this video? I hope so. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. We love, love, love our community, and we love having you here. And I don't want you to miss out on any of our videos we post each and every single week. So as always, these videos are brought to you from viewers like you. We'd love to hear, what are you struggling with? How can we serve you? And we'd love to create one of these videos just for you. You can email us at getinspired@bonniekelly.me. And until next time, I'm Bonnie.